On this edition of Maury County Now, the City of Columbia is making improvements to all 5 wards through its Public Works program. We sat down for an exclusive interview with the new Maury Alliance President, Will Evans. Adam Southern is back with another historic Maury County featuring the history of the east side of Columbia. And finally, we spoke to Chris Poynter and Trent Ogilvie about the exciting developments with the East Side School Task Force. All this and more on this edition of Maury County Now. Hello and welcome to Maury County Now, Columbia and Maury County's community news show covering the events, ideas, groups, and happenings in and around Maury County. The City of Columbia is putting your tax dollars to work with its Columbia Works program. We spoke with Norman Wright and Ken Donaldson about the Columbia Works program and how it will help all 5 city wards.
My name is Norman Wright. I'm the Director of Development Services for the city. Columbia Works is the city's infrastructure improvement program. It's the first of the kind that we've had in the city to basically target special areas of need throughout all 5 wards or districts of the city where we see improvements for infrastructure such as stormwater like culverts or pedestrian features like sidewalks.
Well, Columbia Works program, it's our infrastructure improvement program where we're going to take the tax dollars, targeted areas of need throughout the neighborhood. But one good thing about it, we're wrapping around a overall arcing theme of Columbia Works. It's going to be an attitude that we have that we can improve neighborhoods, we can do good in neighborhoods, we can improve where they can walk. Also, we can do flood mitigation, a lot of positive things for neighborhoods. We're starting a project on 11th Street between Glade and Graham Street. It's an area where the city has invested money by putting habitat houses and other home improvements, but yet you have crumbling infrastructure. Well, just think about new homes being put in a neighborhood and all of a sudden you improve the infrastructure. We hope it's the start of beginning of good things, not only for us, but for the neighbors. Well, you know, there was an article I read years ago and it said sometimes fractured sidewalks and potholes, streets can be a reflection of attitude in neighborhoods. And as you removing all that blight from neighborhoods, not only blight of bad housing, but blight of bad sidewalks, bad street, it has to have a positive effect upon the neighbors. We're excited, we're ready to get started. In fact, we have started, and it's a 3-year project, so not everybody can be first, but we're going to be in about every neighborhood. It should touch every neighborhood eventually.
Cities that invest in themselves inspire others to also invest in the city. So the more that we can put on a good face with proper maintenance of all of our public facilities, whether it's curbing, sidewalks, or even culverts, the more we show money returning to the city, which inspires again money coming into the city further. We're going to be keeping an updated list of all activities on our website. That's www.columbiatn.com, so everyone can take a look at our progress as we go, month to month, year to year. And if you still need more information, you can always call Public Works Department or the Development Services Department, and we'd be happy to give anybody any answers to any questions they may have.
With only 2 weeks in on the job, Maury County Now caught up with Will Evans, the new president of Maury Alliance, for an exclusive interview about the Alliance, its function, and how it's helping our community.
Hi, I'm Will Evans, president of the Maury County Chamber and Economic Alliance. We are Maury County's Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Agency. So we work with our existing businesses to help them be successful, as well as to recruit new jobs through new businesses, as well as expanding industry in the county. Our Chamber of Commerce, we have approximately 600 members now. That's a large increase from last year. That was due in part to our membership drive we had in January. I believe we increased by approximately 50% of our organization. So our Chamber's goal is to work with the existing smaller businesses in the community, the retail establishments, but we do also work with any industry or any of our members, but to help them be more successful in their business. We offer networking activities, educational seminars, various programs that we have going on. We're constantly looking for new ways to be advantageous to our members. Some of the things that we have going right now is our Generation Maury. That is focusing on the advancement of Maury County that's kind of geared towards the younger generation in the community. We don't really have an age limit, but we try to work with those who are wanting to be more progressive in the community. We have our Women of Wisdom, which is obviously geared towards women in business in the community. So there's some specific seminars where we'll bring in successful women in the workplace and have them educate our women members. On the economic development side, we focus on creating jobs and capital investment in the community. We do that through 4 areas. The first is workforce development. So we work with the South Central Tennessee Workforce Alliance. Make sure that they have any information that our organization gathers to help them work with our workforce to educate them and train them to be better suiting to specific industries that are currently here or specific industries that we are trying to recruit. We work with our existing businesses, so our larger industries, they can contribute about 80% of economic development or job growth, so it's important that we work with them to make sure that they have a successful environment to create more jobs, that if they are looking to expand, that we meet with them to offer the various programs that we can do to help them out and to make sure that they have what they need to create more jobs. We work with new business development, so we're constantly trying to recruit new business or industries to come to the community and create jobs. That's usually what most people tend to focus on in economic development. It tends to get the most hype in the news, but however, we typically can't talk too much about it. And then livability. This is something that's really focused both on the chamber and the economic development side of our organization. So we want to make sure that we have a community that is attractive to our current workforce, but is also attractive to the younger generation that's going to come and be the workforce of the future. So those are all the aspects that we focus on to create jobs and capital investment. As always, our doors are open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. You're welcome to come in and talk to us. We have a wonderful staff that's helpful. Our website, it's www.mauryalliance.com. It has a lot of information both on the chamber and the economic development side. And you're welcome to give us a call as well.
Columbia's east side has a rich and vibrant history that goes back farther than we realize. Here's Adam Southern with this edition of Historic Maury County.
Hi, I'm Adam Southern, and this is another edition of Historic Maury County. And we've talked a lot about the history of Columbia, Tennessee, but we haven't talked very much about the black community. And the black community historically has been located on the east side of Columbia. Even in the days of slavery, there were free men and then there were slaves living together in the east side of Columbia. And one of these slaves was Dyer Johnson. And Dyer Johnson was able to save up enough money to buy his own freedom. And he was living there as a free man of color, and he had a wife who was also a slave. And he wanted her freedom. He would go visit her every night, and finally the slave owner said, we don't want you coming back anymore. So he said, this is my wife, what can we do? I want to buy her freedom. She said, okay, we can do that for $300. So Dyer Johnson works hard, saves up this $300, and pays the slave owner for his wife. But even then, she would not let his wife go. She said, you need to build her a house first. So Dyer Johnson goes and builds a house. He gets it finished in 1853, goes and picks up his wife, and they live happily ever after. And they had several great kids. One kid ended up being a teacher at College Hill School. And College Hill School was created by Edmund Kelly, also a black man, along with the mayor of Columbia, Mayor Andrews. They got together and decided that education was very important, both for whites and blacks, and they created College Hill School. And the reason it's called College Hill is because there was a college once on that hill. The Methodist Female Seminary was right there, where we call College Hill today. So they just gave it that name, named it after the hill. And Edmund Kelly, who created the school, his son was one of the early teachers and principals there. And Dyer Johnson enters back into the picture with one of his sons becoming a professor and also a longtime principal of College Hill School.
But their story doesn't end there. Dyer Johnson's descendant, Lyman T. Johnson, went on to the University of Kentucky in 1949. And because he was black, he was not allowed to enter the school. And this went on for several years. 1949, he takes the lawsuit all the way to the Supreme Court, and Lyman T. Johnson is allowed to enter the University of Kentucky as a student. So he was also a history maker in the education field. And he also has a school or two named after him in Kentucky. So all of this came out of College Hill. This is your history of East Side with Adam Southern. And if you want more information, read Jill Garrett's book, Hither and Yon, and come see us at the library. Thank you.
Horace O. Porter School at College Hill is a treasured landmark for the city of Columbia's east side of town. Striving to give children a place to make their mark in society, the East Columbia Task Force has made it their mission to champion its reopening as an elementary school. Here's Trent Ogilvie and Chris Poynter to tell us more about this ambitious plan.
Hello, my name is Chris Poynter and I am a member of the East Columbia School Task Force. The task force started really basically out of a crisis, if you will. A situation that was brewing and was a persistent, continuous rezoning of kids in a particular area. My good friend and brother Trent Ogilvie, we kind of got to the point where we had kind of really had enough of seeing the rezoning that was happening, and instead of just really just talking about it, we felt like something needed to be done about it. So, of course, we had a conversation with Director of Schools Eddie Hickman, Assistant Director of Schools Scott Jaynes, and they both too agreed that the rezoning that was continuously happening in one particular area was not fair. However, that at the moment in time, they really didn't have any options or anything that they felt like they could do about it. And so we had spent several weeks, if you will, kind of thinking of different options of what we could do as a community, as a collective body, to go before the school board or go before Eddie Hickman and Scott Jaynes as far as alternatives and options to this whole rezoning crisis. And what really came about, and really we had this in our mind, but actually what came about in the meeting was the reopening, if you will, of College Hill School, kind of bringing the phoenix rising from the ashes, if you will, and making it a K-4 elementary school where individuals in this area could actually have the opportunity to attend the school. They drive by it every day, they see it every day, but what they see is, chain link fence, barbed wires, and they see a juvenile place for kids who are in trouble, or a court system of some sort where kids are in trouble. And so we didn't want to paint that image in that community. We wanted to kind of remove that image and showcase that, education can happen. Learning can happen in this community, and things can be birthed from this community once again. And so really that's kind of how it all started, really. The whole idea, the whole thought process, the whole vision of reopening College Hill School.
Trent Ogilvie, Executive Director, CEO of Columbia Housing Redevelopment Corporation. The H.O. Porter School at College Hill is a pillar of the community. It was erected in 1885, which means it has a 128-year history. That is history that should not be overlooked, shouldn't be passed up, but it should be cherished. The school began as a school for African American students, and I think it's a testament when we talk about how far we have come as a nation, as a country, that we can open up a school that is for everyone, that is a part of the community, that brings people back together, and also focus on education, which should be the focal point, one of the foundations of a great community. And of this particular community of East Columbia, the H.O. Porter School has always been a pillar, the central place where kids could come and have a place to belong, a sense that they were growing and learning. I'll never forget a story where some students were talking about they went to Spain when they were in school. And I thought that was remarkable. I was like, you went to Spain in the early 60s? And she said, no, but the teacher created a learning environment where we dressed up in the clothes that they wore in Spain, and we took this trip to Spain, but we never left our community and our neighborhood. And that's the type of stories, there are countless stories of individuals who are very successful today because they came through the halls of H.O. Porter School here at College Hill. And also they had great teachers. The school was named after Horace Porter, who served for about 42 years at this particular school, and a great principal, great leader in our community. and all the other leaders who saw teachers who cared about them and saw the way in which they conducted themselves really has enabled this school to have a great legacy that it has today, and that history is something we want to build upon by opening up the school here in this community of East Columbia and allowing it to do the same thing today that it has done in the past for all those students and teachers who have come through the school.
I think it would inject a breath of life, a breath of fresh air. Very similar to how several different renovation projects have happened in Columbia with the whole East Columbia revitalization to bringing life back to Fairview Park. I think reopening College Hill School will add that type of breath and life back to this community, if not greater. I actually think it's going to have a greater impact than any project that's been done in East Columbia has been done thus far. By reopening the school, I think you recharge a group of people in a community. I think you bring a breath of fresh air and life to where people could actually see and feel and taste that something is actually happening in this community and actually being done in this community.
For more information about the task force and their findings on College Hill, please visit our website, maurycountynow.com, and look in the show notes for more details. Puckett's Columbia Presents is back with another exciting episode, this time featuring Jill Brooks. Check out an exclusive clip coming up next of Jill, and check out Puckett's Columbia Presents on CPWS PowerNet 13 Friday and Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Thanks for watching Maury County Now. We'll see you next time.
There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy and guy. I know I'm one. My mother was so tender. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man who went down in New Orleans. Now the only thing they can is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he's satisfied is when he's on a drum. Oh, mother, oh, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, there is and it's